one of our speakers, John Morton, who you already seen on the Power Breakfast, is saying that the big data is either the most hype or the most disruptive technology to change businesses. So I think that this is a good reason why you should remain and try to attend to as many big data presentations during the day. The estimations are that big data is growing at a 40% rate every year, and this is not only in the volume of data generated, but also in the market size. It's estimated that in 2017-2018, the big data market will be around $50 billion. 90% of the data was generated in the last 2 years, and if in 2013 we had around 4.4 zettabytes of data, in 2020 we will have 44 zettabytes of data. 1 zettabyte of data is equal to 1 trillion gigabytes. Last month I attended the 2015 Hadoop Summit in Belgium, and one of the things that they mentioned during the keynote session is that if you are already working on the big data related projects, the first thing that we should do when we return back to work is to ask for a salary increase. This is mainly due to the fact that big data can generate so much value for the companies, and also there is the need of very specialized people in this field. Gartner predicted in 2013 that by the end of 2015, the big data demand will generate around 4.4 million jobs in the IT industry. This is the good news. The bad news is that only a third of these jobs will be fulfilled due to the lack of skills in the individuals. Today we will have 8 really interesting presentations on big data and business intelligence, and I hope that by the end of the day, those of you who are already doing big data related projects, to get the confidence that you are on the right track, to learn new things, to understand better the big data field, and those who are not yet doing data related projects, to get the motivation and the interest to start big data projects. Okay, going back to our speakers. So our first speaker today is Jiri Tobolka. He's coming from the Czech Republic. You already see him in the Power Breakfast presentation. He's a new tech and data enthusiast, currently working as a developer evangelist at Good Data. He likes to help people, businesses using data and modern tools. His presentation from data to BI dashboard in 3 days is about the data platform that we can leverage in 2015 and how to get more insights from our data. Let's welcome Jiri.
I hope you hear me. Yeah. If anybody doesn't hear me, just raise your hand. Cool. Sounds good. So yeah, super excited to be here. Thank you for inviting me to Cluj. I haven't been in Romania yet, so I'm really enjoying time here. It's a great city and great nature around the city, everything. So thanks again for inviting me. So what I'm going to talk about from dashboard, from data to dashboard in 3 days. Well, what do you think? Like 3 days. Is it good? Is it bad? Is it slow? Is it fast? Good enough? I don't know. Who knows? I need more context, I would say. Because without context, you just have some number and you don't know if it's good, if it's not good, or if it's good enough. You need context to understand numbers. So if you want to ask me questions indirectly using Twitter or just leave a feedback, feel free to tweet need more context on Twitter, and I'm gonna check it out. And back to the topic. Big data. Well, I think, as you heard, like it's maybe the most overhyped term these days, or it's the most advantaged technology, or something that can disrupt business in the next few years, or maybe months, maybe anything else. I think it's definitely overhyped. I think a lot of people are misusing the term. Nobody's really sure about the definition of the big data. And think sometimes it's a marketing thing. Sometimes it's just that somebody doesn't understand it. Sometimes you really need big data, and sometimes you do not need, but you already have it. So it's not easy, but I don't care. I would say. Might sound a little bit arrogant, but I don't care if it's big data, if it's big, fast, whatever. I think that there are companies that still struggle with the basics. So everybody is talking like, hey, big data, it's what we need to do. It's gonna help ourselves. And then you realize that you don't understand sales or that you don't have big data. So sometimes people are just talking big data and they don't have it. And don't get me wrong, like I know that there are companies who have big data, or if you are working in CERN or something like that, you definitely process petabytes or zettabytes or whatever infinite amount of data. So yeah, that is true. But I would focus on something that I would call like meaningful data. Might sound like another buzzword, but I think your data doesn't need to be big. It's still data, and you still can get a lot of insights out of that when you analyze it properly, when you have some tools, or apply some best practices, or you just work with the data and trying to get something out of that in a proper way. It can help a lot. And I'm going to show you in practice, or I would like to demonstrate it in 2 use cases or 2 case studies, let's say. And then I would like to show you how we use good data and some other tools that are built on top of good data, so that you can learn. I hope you can learn something new, and you can try it out after the presentation or tomorrow. And I hope it's going to be helpful for you. So let's go to the practice. Imagine you are running a company, or maybe you are running a company. So you are running a startup, or you are selling goods or whatever, and you might have a problem that you are like a rally driver who is driving his car with some tape on his eyes, and you don't know where are you going because you don't have the data or you don't have the proper information. So I have been working with the data for like last 6 or 7 years, and I've been always thinking that it's already solved. Everybody thinks about data. Everybody thinks about how to get information out of the data. We are learning it in the first year of the university, that there's like a data and information and then knowledge. And I was like, yeah, it's like a common sense. Like everybody should use data and understand business. But still, now in the 2015, I see businesses, startups, or like new tech guys who are running startups, and they don't understand this data yet. But on the other side, it might not have been a problem. Or I would say like every problem can be the opportunity to get better and to learn something and to make your business better. But again, like how to do that? Well, maybe go to school, or maybe use a proper tool, or hire some consultant or something like that. I think you can do it 2 ways. Talking about tools, I think you can do it an old school way, which is let's buy Oracle or SAP or something. It will help our business. It will save us. So we decided to buy, I don't know, something which is big enough that solve our big problem. But we don't know that we don't have big data problem. And when we finally implemented the old school BI tool, we realized that it's too late and we bankrupt or something. Or there are some competitors that are using something else or whatever. So you can fail because it's too long. It takes too long to to implement like old school business intelligence tool until you get some results. I remember that there was some like competition between like a new way and that I'm going to be talking about and like the old way, and these guys were installing like Microsoft servers, and we already had the project ready, and we have some insights from that. So this is another approach that I would call the new school BI, or you can call it like agile BI. When we are on the Keynote, let's bring in another buzzword. So let's call it agile BI, which is like a business intelligence project when you start small and do small increments, at like more data, more dimensions, more look on your data, more dashboards and stuff like that. So you start from small, from really basics, which like 90% of companies still doesn't understand basics, doesn't know what's their sales funnel or something like that. And then you make increments and you finish up with the whole project in a much faster way than doing it the old school way. So real world example number one is a company called Gorilla Mobile. I don't think you would know it because it's just local Czech company. Is there anybody who knows it? Makes sense. It's a really small company, virtual mobile provider who started as like on the top of Telefonica O2 infrastructure. They created some like marketing campaigns and products on the top of them, and then they became very successful. And one of the things why they became very successful was that they has been really metric-driven company. They started thinking about the metrics that would help them manage their business even before they started or they incorporated the company. So they came to a company called Cluj in Czech Republic. Cluj is implementation partner for big data. And they asked them, hey, we are going to start a company, we are going to grow the startup, and we would like to help from you with the metrics that can help us to manage the company. And after, I'm not sure about the time frame, I think it was like 6 months or something like that, they started. Everybody was around was kind of happy, like everything is going well. We have a lot of users, we have new activations and everything, but they were really drilling to the data, and they were exploring more and more details. And then they examined it and realized that there are some marketing campaigns that are not really productive, and there are some marketing campaigns that are really productive. So in the average, it was okay, and people like investors who were looking at the average, they were like, well, it looks pretty good. They're like, well, it's not good because we are seeing the details. And so we drill down to the detail and then cut the not successful campaigns, campaigns that are not performing well. And in the next steps, they basically Telefonica bought them for, I don't know what was the amount of money, but it was a huge win for them, for everybody. And they are now, the team from Gorilla is now part of the Telefonica in Czech Republic, or it's no more maybe Telefonica, it's O2, just O2. And they are bringing this approach to the huge corporation, and I think they have fun moments with that, because they are not used to that this way. Sounds easy, right? So, example number 2. I'm not allowed to name this company, but it was a recent thing. I was going to show you one that there is a tech startup in Czech Republic who is, or like we have a lot of tech startups, but we have several successful startups. So there is a startup who is doing like transactional business in the web. They are selling something to the people, and they have partners and just normal transactional business on the web. And this is the year-over-year revenue growth they are planning they are already exceeding it in the first half of the 2015. which is crazy, super successful, and very cool. But we are talking about them, and they are like, the CTO was like, hey, yeah, I know what our sales has been yesterday, but I have no idea what is the month over month, or which partner brings a lot of revenue, or which users are returning to us, or something like that. So they were not totally blinded, but kind of like blinded, and you would expect that a company like this would have some solution, as for example, Gorilla Mobile, who started with the BI project even before starting the company. So they don't, and now why I use the 3 days from data to dashboards. They bring us some data, and we create a proof of concepts. You have heard this term already on the keynote, together with Agile. And yeah, we take the data, like process it, and do some simple visualizations. We do 2 or 3 dashboards with sales trend, sales month over month trend, sliced by partners, users, and other dimensions. And we realized that they were like super happy about it, like 3 days of work, and it brings total sales transparency to them. I hope they will continue with the project, and I hope maybe next time I'm going to show you more details what it's bringing to them. Well, so that was some real world example, and now I would like to show you some, or like talk about some tooling that we use. So as you know, I'm from Good Data, and have you ever heard about it before today? What? Cool. So yeah, maybe I should have started with this. So Good Data is the company who provides the cloud BI services and platform. So we started as a small startup in Czech Republic. Maybe do you know Systinet? Somebody? So the founder of the Good Data previously founded and sold Systinet to Mercury, which was acquired by HP then, and then we quit and started Good Data to like disrupt the business intelligence. And so they took a different approach. They placed everything in the cloud. Like it started 7 years ago, so he was kind of crazy that time because nobody is thinking about cloud and stuff like that. But yeah, here it is now, open business intelligence platform. If you are a developer, you can connect through the APIs. If you are a business user, you can use reports and dashboards. If you are a manager, you can just consume the reports that somebody prepared for you. And it's just like pretty much the same stuff that guys in Oracle or Microsoft is doing, but in a different way. And you can sign up, and if you want to start with the project, it's not that expensive comparing to the big vendors. So you can start as, for example, the Gorilla Mobile. You can start with that even before you started the company. So another 2 abbreviations, API, you know that XAE is Good Data Extensible Analytical Engine, which is similar to, which is a multi-dimensional language, similar to MDX, but it's a powerful way to export the data. You can change the context. I'm gonna show you the example of how to build the project in the Good Data later. This is how it looks. Oh, it's a C code? No, it isn't C code. I'm gonna show you why later, because the context is super useful, and context is the biggest differentiator here. Here's an example of the BI dashboard, and you might be asking questions like how to get the data in. I'm going to show you how to get the data in. Please, like, I'm going to show you the tool that might help you to get the data in. And it's, I've already mentioned that there's a partner of the data, it's called Tobolka. Super super great guys from Prague and from Vancouver who started as implementation partner for good data in the 2009. I think good data has been still in the beta version, but it means like there is a huge opportunity for you if you would like to become a partner and things like that. They started building some tooling around that, and they finished up with a great ETL tool that really helps you to process the data, extract them, and load them to good data. And then there is a good data engine and dashboards and everything. And together it's like super powerful combo of the tools that might help you to get to your business better. And let me show you the live demo now. At least something. Yeah. So this is the good data dashboard. This is usually the result that you see. So if you are executive, you probably just see this. Or you can, since it's a platform that has API, you can use your Apple Watch or Android watches to check out your KPIs. If somebody will write an ad, you can see it on your watches every morning. Like, hey, how is my sales going? Well, it's going good or bad. Depends. Like, what's your breakfast then? But yeah, well, this is the dashboard, and you can drill the data and see the details. Pretty much all that stuff you can see it in the map. You can see it segmented by a lot of fields or dimensions. And if you want to prepare new report, or if you are a data analyst and you would like to get more insights from the data, you can go to analyze that, which is like which is the product called Analytical Designer, and you can just drag and drop the metrics in the canvas to create a report. So it's a super fast way to create a report. You can see like total number of followers, and then you can just with a single click you can see the trend. And then you can see like a period over period comparison, which is super fast way to analyze data for people who doesn't understand SQL or our XAE or some other languages for data. So for business people, this is great, and data has a big plans with this because we have all the platform and we have the metadata, so we can analyze the data platform, and we can like suggest and recommend next step for the analysts. It's a huge thing and a huge challenge for the future. Once you have a report, you can open it like all UI. Everything is built. I don't want to go into the details. If you would be interested in like technical details, definitely catch me somewhere around. I will be here for the whole day. But if you can see like this is the report, and you can see like we have some metrics, like 2 metrics, and then slice by quarter year, and you can display save report. It's really simple, but then I can show you something is going behind the scenes. So this is so-called web pages, and I'm going to show you what's generated by the engine. Yes, so 3 clicks has generated SQL, optimized SQL to the database. And the best thing that you can reuse these metrics in different contexts, just switching the how button or just switching the attribute. I can show you. It doesn't work. Go back to the report. You can add some more example, quarter, month, and year, and then I can definitely filter something out. I can rank. I would like to see top three companies, for example. Let's see just this year, last year. And as you can see, it's pretty easy to set it up. Internet is slower.
What's the data amount behind?
Well, this is a small project, and this is just, I think, internet connection problem. But the amount in this project is, this is a small project, but we usually have, we have a big project. It's not a big project in this case, it's like hundreds of terabytes, I think. Or usually it's terabytes. Or like, as I said, like people are struggling with small amounts of data, and they need to analyze the normal like sales data and stuff like that. They need it fast, and they need to have it. They need to be able to change it really fast. So usually we work with much smaller projects. And as I said, it's not about how big is your data. It's about how you analyze it and what you get out of that. So once I say. This example looks similar, but you can imagine like long SQL that is generated by the XAE in the reports. So this is how you can look on your data, and you can change the visualization that you can see in the right corner. And then the second part, so how to get the data in to the data. As I said previously, there is a company called Tobolka. They are creating a tool in the cloud, ETL tool, that helps you process the data from the source to the good data. So this is how it looks. Nothing exciting, some newsfeed, menu, really like by developers for developers approach. But it's extremely powerful. You can just sign up, you don't need to install anything, and everything is based on the top of AWS, and it's stored in like input, and you transfer the data from the input to the output. So as you can see here, we have some buckets, and we usually use some exporters or extractors to get data to the in stage. All the data in the in stage are historized here, and you have it in the state that as you downloaded it. And then you use transformation to create an output stage. And then output stage is synchronized to the good data, like one-on-one, data set, or table to table, if you want. So let me show you like how to extract, or which extractors can be used. You can use Google Drive for sure. You can add some more extractors. You can see, you can use Facebook. You can use normal database, standard database like MySQL, SQL, Postgres. You can use Elasticsearch and access it. You can use generic REST extractor, which means that you can configure the REST extractor to your custom API, and you can get the data out of it, store it in the storage API or the Tobolka connection. This tool is Tobolka connection. You can extract the data from Facebook ads, from group data. So what some customers do, they process the data, upload it to good data, create some reports, and they download it back, use some advanced analytics, and then upload it back to different project or different data set. You can use Google Analytics, Google Drive. So let's say I'd like to use Google Drive, I can just write it down, and it will prepare me. Okay, account already exists. Yeah. So some clever name. Just do. And here it is. I can authorize my Google Drive account. So there is like all background. I'm just improving it. Yeah, and here, and I can check. So there's a spreadsheet with some table, so I can just edit and save selection, and then I can run the extractor, which downloads the data. You can do a simple transformation in it. For example, you can change like the rows and columns, or something like that, and create value pairs. And then everything is loaded to the input stage, as I've shown you before. And then how to create the output. So basically you want to process the data somehow to create an output. So they take it really like easily, as I said, like developers approach. So they created the transformation layer on the top of this storage layer with a SQL interface. So if you know SQL, like almost everybody knows SQL, you can write it down and transform the data from the input to the output. So let's show you an example. You load the data from input to the transformation, and then you define what should be downloaded from the output, from the transformation to the output. And then you write the query. So this is a super simple example. You can have tons of query here. And what is great is that you can use MySQL for a really small project. It's like, it costs almost nothing. Or you can use Redshift for a bigger project, for really big projects, and you can process the data in Redshift. Great thing is that the Redshift instance started when you hit the button like execute or run transformation. So everything is started on the background, processed, the Redshift server is terminated, or the database is terminated, data are downloaded, and you have everything in the output stage. And as a result, you can orchestrate everything using orchestration. So you set up the extractors, then you set up the transformation, then you set up the writer, and then you just automatically run it every night, and you have latest data in the Jiri data platform. Two more great things, maybe three great things. One of that is like every job or every event that happens within this app can be findable vector. So if somebody makes a mistake, or if you are not sure, if you are collaborating with somebody else, and you are not sure what has been done with the data, you can just go back in the history and check individual events. They see, hey, somebody changed the transformation, this is why this is not working, or this is why we have a different output. Great thing number two is that you can run MySQL, Redshift, and you can run R scripts directly in this platform. So if you are R developer, you can definitely use it. And if you are R developer who would like to create your own like use case oriented applications or scripts, and you would like to sell it to the broader community, you might be able to use it, or you should be able to use it in the future, because you can see here, there's the applications tab, and this is something that is called recipes. they call it like this, and it's basically advanced analytics scripts that can be like bought and they can run on the top of your data. So if you have sales data, you just tag individual columns in the storage API, which is like a storage part of this tool, and then you can just run the receipt that, for example, is looking for some patterns in data or similar stuff. So if you would like to contribute to it, definitely stay in touch. And there is an opportunity that somebody would like to talk to you and get something done together. And what else? I think that's it from the live demo perspective. And yeah, I think we have time to do Q&A session. I see 10 minutes, so last thing I would like to say is do not neglect your data and maybe forget a bit about big data and focus on the data that matters to your business, and you can start small and do great things with the proper tooling. So yeah, questions?
How do you store the data before the data data? How do you store it?
You mean the ETL tool or good data? Because good data. Good data is currently using Rackspace in the US, and they are opening the European data center in London because of legal issues with the European Union. But it's like we are storing the data like it's normally in the database. And there are like a huge amount of like scripts around, and it's just like really massive infrastructure. I'm not sure about all the details, but I can like.
Okay, my question is, so you have a kind of data warehouse with break of attached data, something like that.
Yeah, like everything is.
The source or no format for this application.
Everything is loaded to the data warehouse, which is like a relational database. You load the data per data set, which is like a table, and you specify the facts and attributes. Facts are then stored in fact tables, and attributes are dimensions. And everything is configured using a logical data model. So you first create a model that follows your reporting needs. So you like to see something, you define a model, and then you load the data to that model. And you don't need to create anything manually. It's just about logical data model, and then the data is loaded inside.
And performance?
Performance, there is a huge like optimization that is done automatically after loading the data. And we have like a bunch of guys who are like dealing just with optimization. Sometimes we struggle with some specific use cases, and nowadays it's run on Postgres, and some projects are on Vertica. So we are, and it's like so far so good. Like customers like Virgin in the US are using us. Mastercard is using good data, and they didn't have any problem.
From my past experience, the main problem was the data depth of the database, for the relational database, the data warehouse.
Yeah, it's like this is why there is like the transformation layer. So you do the ETL and totally separate the relational database with the source, and you have it in your own environment, and then you load it to good data, which is optimized for analytics, for reporting, for the specific use case. And then it performs great, and there are like a lot of caches. So if you don't change the metric and data hasn't been reloaded, it's super fast. If it's been reloaded, it's like fast enough, and because of it's cached.
Okay, so any other questions?
Hi, Jiri. I want to ask you if you have you plan to use big data technologies in the future? And second question, if, for example, if I'm going to use the data platform, and I'm working in a team, do we have different accounts, or you are going to use only one account?
Well, the question is which platform would I use, or I have been using the first one?
For the first question, have you planned to use other big data technologies for your data platform? And the second question is, if I'm working in a team, do you have different accounts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can, if you are working in a team, you can, like everybody has his personal account, and there is like then you can manage this this group, and then you can provision individual users to individual projects.
Because it's very important for tracking and monitoring.
Yeah. And also some companies would like to see the more strict permissions. So they would like to. There are like 4 roles in the data project, like editor, admin, and viewer. So if you are a viewer, you can just consume things. If you are editor, you can edit, but you are not allowed to delete anything or change, make a significant change. If you are an admin, you can definitely play. You can delete the project. And we are developing much more like advanced stuff to manage users. And to the first question, like you mean within good data, right? Yeah. So there is a vertical database in the background, some parts, and I know that for some specific customers, they have been using Hadoop in the ETL for processing, not using the Keynote connection. As I said, it's like the fastest way you can get data in. It's a great tool. There are some other tools that you can use, and you can integrate it with Hadoop if you need it, as we discussed previously.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Jiri, for the presentation. You can find Jiri during the day here.
Sure.
So
Thank you
have
for
a
the
question.